Hi, this is Wendy, and welcome to my No Frills Java video series. I don't do any fancy video production or anything, so you might hear traffic in the background, or my cat meowing, or my next door neighbors arguing with each other, but whatever. When you're coding in the real world, you're hearing these noises and lots of other noises, so you just suck it up and get used to it. I'm going to show you some Java stuff, and I don't have the time or inclination to create fancy videos with animation and all that other production stuff. We're just going to learn and code with Java. So in this series of videos, I'm going to introduce you to the basics of regular expressions and how to use them in a Java program. If you've been around for the whole series, just a reminder, in the first video we learned the basics of regular expression syntax and wrote some very basic expressions. In the second video we learned how to use character classes to match ranges of characters and sets of characters in those expressions. In the third video we learned how to use quantifiers to specify how many of a set of characters we wanted to match. In the fourth video we just talked about escaping special characters along with meta characters and the OR operator, little odds and ends of different things. In this fifth video, we're going to learn how to create more advanced expressions by using capture groups, and that's going to be the end of the regular expression syntax, because in the sixth and seventh videos, I'll show you how to actually use regular expressions in a Java program. Now, just a bit of a warning before we start talking about capture groups. The first example in this video does have some swear words in it, but I assure you it's a very practical example, and it's something that you will encounter in several kinds of applications. Capture groups allow you to group tokens together, and in more advanced expressions allow you to capture or remember those exact matches for use later in the expression. A capture group is enclosed inside parentheses, and in fact this particular example is called a non-capturing capture group because it actually has the extra colon and question mark characters in it. These symbols mean something special when used with the capture group parentheses, so I'm going to talk about that later. The capture group includes one or more tokens. In this case, it's a \lowercase w, which is a word character, followed by the plus quantifier, so one or more word characters, and that's the period escaped, so that's the actual period character. So one or more word characters followed by a period. This entire group of tokens inside the parentheses can then have a quantifier applied to it, like in this example, in this case, the one or more. So what this means is that this group of tokens occurs one or more times. So in other words, we're looking for one or more word characters followed by a period, that set of characters one or more times. You can even actually use multiple capture groups with the OR operator if you want to say this set of tokens or this other set of tokens. So let's look at an example, because it's really much easier to explain and understand capture groups with an example. And just a reminder in case you missed it, this example does have some foul language, but it is a legitimate example and it's something that you might come across, so just go with it. And if it really bothers you that much, just leave me a note in the comments, and when I get some time, I'll make you a PG version, no problem. So let's say that we have a client that has a blog or some other kind of thing, and perhaps the primary demographic for their users are children, or maybe people from a religious community or some other group that likely doesn't want to see swear words in the posts, or more importantly in the comments from other users. So you might want to write some regex to apply to incoming comments and say, if this comment has no swear words, then go ahead and post it and make it public. Otherwise, if it does have swear words in it, then just trash it or save it. Don't publish it, basically. Now, this is usually done with a database, but it's usually quite a large database. And often, if you want access to a pre-made database like this, it might cost money, and maybe you don't have money right now and you don't want to pay for it, or you can just set one up yourself, but that takes some time. And so you maybe don't have time right now and you just want a quick regex solution. It's totally fine. So let's say we start off by checking to see if the text that we have, and it's just like a movie review, contains a word like ass, which it does, right? We see the phrase cat's ass. I don't know if people still use this expression, or is it just me? We used to use it a lot in the 90s when something was really, really good. Like we'd say, oh, that cake you made is the cat's ass. It was delicious. Yeah, I don't know why that works either, but that's what we would say. So anyways, we might figure, well, if we're looking for checking our post to see if it contains the word ass, then we might just type ass. Notice that I'm using the case insensitive flag here because swear words come in all types, right? They're uppercase, lowercase, all uppercase, mixed case, title case, whatever. So I've got my case insensitive flag on, so I don't have to worry about it. So I type in ASS, and you'll see, indeed, it flags the word ass because that's a match, but it also flags it in the word massive, talent, and passing familiarity. So it's matching the letters ASS in other words, not just in the swear word. So that's a bit of a problem. If somebody wrote a nice post that didn't have any swear words, but they used the words massive, for example, it would flag it as having swear words. And that would, make people upset. We don't want to do that. And it would make us more work too. So what we might think is, okay, if the word ass is being used as a swear word, it might have a space around it. So we might have a space in front and a space after, right? So you just type space character. We've done this before. And that might work. It does not flag massive anymore because the ASS is between other characters. Same thing with the same word in passing, but now it's not flagging this. Now, if I'd had another word after the word ass, then it would be fine, but I happen to use it as the last word in a sentence. So it is possible it might not be in the middle of a sentence, it might be at the end of the sentence. So maybe after the word, we want to also say, well, it might have a space after it, but it might also have punctuation after it. And on that note, I think I'm going to actually change the space. I'm going to use a \s for both of them because that will also capture, since we're talking about punctuation, that would include a new line as well. So we don't want to have to worry about typing a separate character for new line or tab. I'm just going to put in the \s for white space. We covered that in an earlier video. And then I'm also going to include, this goes in the square brackets because I'm looking for one of a series of characters. So this is a single token. So a white space. I'm using the exclamation point. That's not it. Using an exclamation point. So I'll put that in there. See, it matches already. But I'm going to, make this realistic. And if I want to use a period, I have to escape it. What else do sentences end with? Question mark. Or someone might use a semicolon or a colon. So we might as well put those in there. And you might think of other stuff. So now I've got, look for a white space followed by A, S, followed by one of these characters. So either another white space, exclamation point, period, question mark, semicolon, colon, etc. And there we go. So it's not capturing the ASS in the actual words, massive or passing, but it is actually capturing the swear word. So that's cool. That works. All right. So that's only one swear word. If you read the text, you'll see there's another swear word. There's lots and lots of swear words. I wasn't going to put all of them in here. We don't have all day. So another common swear word that you might want to capture is the word shit. So let's add that one too. And we can see that it's used here. Where did it go? Well, there we go. Like there. And also in the word Shih Tzu, which is not a swear word. That's a legitimate word. For those of you that aren't familiar with the word Shih Tzu, that is a breed of dog or a really crappy zoo with no animals. That was a joke. All right. So I want to capture both the word ass and I want to capture the word shit. So we're thinking, all right, I want to have the word ass being used in a sentence or the word shit being used in a sentence. So I said or. So I'm going to put in the or operator and then SHIT. And it appears to work. It's capturing this swear word and it's capturing this swear word. But remember that the or operator, it treats this whole expression here as one side of the or and the rest of this expression here as the other side of the or. So really what we're saying is a white space followed by ASS or the letters SHIT followed by one of these characters. So it appears to be working, but if, for example, I had a word like mishit, which contains the word shit, but it's not a swear word. So if I had the word mishit, it would capture the word SHIT inside the word mishit because we didn't include the white space in front of the S. That's on this side of the expression, right? We didn't say a white space followed by the letter S. It's like when we tried to match the word ass the first time, so it's doing the same thing. And also, if I put the word ass on a line all by itself, some people do that because they have nothing better to do when they post comments on blogs, whoops, then again, it's not matching it. And that's because it ends with a new line, and that's counted as a white space character. So it ends at a new line, and I didn't include that on this side of the or. I said a white space, ASS. And that's it afterwards. So it's not matching that one. So what we want to do is we want to really just say match the word ass or the word shit when either word is preceded by a space and ends with one of these punctuation characters. And this is where a capture group comes in handy. What we can do is we can say a white space character followed by either the word ass or shit, like that, and then followed by one of these special characters. So what this capture group does is it says treat this set of tokens like a group. So either this set of tokens or that set of tokens. I'm not saying you have to use the or operator inside a capture group. It's just one example of where a capture group is kind of handy. I'll show you another one later. I'll show you two more later, actually. So this says match a white space character followed by these letters or followed by these letters and then followed by a special character. We need the capture group because if we didn't do this with the capture group, then what we would have to say, see if I can do this the long way. We'd have to say a white space character followed by ASS followed by one of these and then or a white space character followed by SHIT followed by one of these. Oh, there. And it still works. You'll see that it's actually matching only the swear words. Don't worry about this big giant white space, or I guess it's blue. This big giant highlighted space. That's the new line between this line and this line. So that counts as white space. So that's why it's matching. It's highlighting the actual white space. It's highlighting the new line. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. But you'll see that this long expression does the exact same thing as the version with the capture group does. The problem is that without the capture group, if we want to now add another swear word, for example, ass just matches ass. It doesn't match words like asshole. So if we wanted to do another one for asshole, then we'd have to do this whole thing again and type in the swear word and then, is this in my clipboard? Yeah, like that. So we'd have to paste, and you can see it's getting uglier and uglier. We'd have to paste. Obviously, you're not going to type this by hand. You're going to want to paste it every single time. And here's another issue. If you thought, oh, I thought of a punctuation mark I didn't include, like, I don't know, the and symbol, right? Like this guy. Now you got to add that in each one of these. And if you had 10 or 20 swear words, you'd have to add that ampersand in every single one of these blocks, these little sets of characters. That's tedious. We don't want to do that. So that's why using the capture group is way more efficient, because if we wanted to add another swear word, we just type it in like that. If you wanted to match, I can't spell asshole apparently. There we go. Not that that's a bad thing. And dipshit. I don't know if other people use this word. This is like asshole and idiot in the same word, I guess. Anyways, doesn't matter. What did you learn today when you watched that regex video? I learned what dipshit means. No. So if you want to add more swear words, you just add them with the or operator. So this says match a white space character followed by any one of these sets of characters followed by any one of these characters. So in this particular example, the capture group is handy because we want to include a group of tokens and just say it's either this group of tokens or this group of tokens or this group of tokens or this group of tokens in the rest of the expression. And there's lots of other uses. Again, I think I already said this. You don't have to have the or inside a capture group. And we'll see some examples of that in a few minutes. Now, it's important to note that when we're not using the captured values, it can affect the efficiency of a program that uses regular expressions. So it's good practice to indicate that when you don't want to use the values that are being captured, then you include that. We saw these symbols earlier on the slides. We use the question mark followed by the colon. And it doesn't change how this works on the surface. It changes how it works behind the scenes. But you'll see if you hover over these, it calls it now a non-capturing group. So it groups these tokens together without creating a capture group. So what that means with a non-capturing capture group, it just means that regex, when it finds the matches, it won't capture them to be used later in the expression. And this, again, this difference is easier to understand with an actual example. So we're going to do a new example. Now that's the end of the sweary bit, I guess, as soon as I delete all of this. There. So that's the end of the sweary bit, in case you're wondering. Oh, and let me get rid of this too, because that's got swear stuff in it. There. Now, that's the end of the sweary bit. We're going to move on to a different example. So what does it mean to capture the matches and use them later in the expression? Let's say you want to match a string that contains what we call a double date year. So a double date year, get some examples here. A double date year is a year where the century number matches the year. So in this case, 18 is the century, and it's the 18th year in the 1800s. And then 1919, it's the 19th year in the 1900s. And 2020, the year that we want to forget, is the 20th year inside the 2000s. So when the century matches the actual year, 2021 is not a double date year because 20 and 21 are not equal. Same with 1918, 19 and 18 are not equal. So we can use a capture group to solve this problem. So let's say, for example, we know how to match 2 digits, right? 2 digits would be \d and then use the quantifier 2, just like that. So you can see here it's matching each individual set of 2 digits. Now that's not obviously exactly what we want. So what we want to say is match 2 digits and then match those exact same 2 digits again. We basically want to refer back to the 2 digits we found a match for. So we're going to find a match for 2 digits and then see if those 2 digits occur again. So the way we do that is we add the parentheses around, there we go, around the value. So that creates a capture group. Again, this is a regular capture group. It's not a non-capturing group like we had before. You'll notice that when I hover over it, it says capturing group number 1. And that's because when you want to refer back to the captured value, you use an index number with a \. So in this case, because it's capture group number 1, I use \1. If you had 2 of these capture groups, the second one would be capture group number 2, and you'd use a \2. We'll do one of those later so you can see. So what this says is match 2 digits, and then those 2 digits you find, match them again. So you'll notice now it's matching 1818 because it's 2 digits and those exact same 2 digits again. Same thing here, 1919. It's those 2 digits followed by the same 2 digits again. 2020, same thing. But 2021 doesn't match because it's 2 digits followed by a different set of 2 digits. It only matches if it's the same set of 2 digits. Isn't that cool? Now, I'm not using the colon question or the question mark colon capture group symbols we saw in the previous example, and that's because this time we want to capture the matches that regex finds and use them in the expression. So that's what we're doing. We're referring back to them. If you use these symbols like we did before, then see that's an error now. So it's now saying it's now treating it like an escaped number 1, which is silly. So that means you do not want to capture the values. We don't want to do that here. We want to capture the values so that we can refer back to them later. Now you can use, this is called a back reference. You can use this back reference as many times as you want. For example, if you wanted to match a number like 18, 18, 18, so the same digits same 2 digits 3 times, you can just do \1 again. So now it matches when you use the same digits 3 times, so 20, 20, 20, for example. So not very useful, but it's a good example. You could also add more than one capture group. So let's say, for example, you want to capture 2 digits and then 2 letters. So I'll do a little A to Z. Is my case insensitive still on? It is. So 2 letters. And then I want to match those same 2 digits again and those same 2 letters again. So our first capture group is capture group 1. Our second capture group is capturing group number 2. And then if I want to refer back to the 2 digits, I use number 1. And if I want to refer back to the second capture group, notice how, I just noticed that, it highlights them. Did you see that? Let me get rid of this. When you put your mouse over the number 2, it puts a line over the corresponding capture group, and watch, it's going to go back here when I put my mouse over the 1. There we go. That's cool. I didn't notice that before. So there. So this refers back to the second capture group, and this refers back to the first capture group. So this would match, for example, 2 digits followed by 2 letters, and then the exact same 2 digits followed by the exact same 2 letters, but it wouldn't match 2 digits, 2 letters, and then, you know, the same 2 digits and different letters, or different letters, different digits, you know, etc., etc. It only matches 2 digits, 2 letters, followed by exactly the same 2 digits, 2 letters. So that's how you can use capture groups. Okay, here's another really cool use of capture groups. Let's get rid of this. Let's say you wanted to match tags, like HTML tags. So you have, and again, I'm assuming you know HTML. If not, you can just skip this. It's not that important. So let's say you want to match tags, so like that are valid. So tags, here we have a span opening tag, and then there's a closing P. That's not valid. This one's valid. It's a span, and an opening span and a closing span with foo in the middle. There may be nothing in the middle. That's okay too. So you could, for example, have span. I'm using span. Let's try one without span. Let's do div. So they can be empty, right? Still has an opening and closing tag. And then this one should be valid as well. It's just, it takes up more than one line. So see if you can think about how to write a regex expression that would match only, it should only match the span that has foo. And if you're up for the challenge, match the multi-line paragraph, because it's a valid tag. It just has a new line in the middle. So give that one a try. Go ahead and pause the video, give that a try, and then when you're done, come back and check your answer. So what we're looking for is we're looking for an opening tag, maybe some stuff, maybe not, and then a matching closing tag. So focus on the opening tag first. Pointy bracket. Opening tags, if you just did only letters, that's fine. I'm going to use word characters because you can make custom tags and they might have a digit or something or an underscore. It's not likely, but it's not impossible. So, and it's easier to read with just word characters. So we do that. That's our opening tag. So you'll see that it's matching. That's not a match. So you can see it's matching all the opening tags. Great. And then after the opening tag, there may or may not be one or more, again, just for make it simple, I'm going to do word characters. 0 or more word characters, because some valid HTML has content and some does not, right? So we're going to do that. And here's the interesting part. So the interesting part is that now I want to do the closing tag. The closing tag name always starts with a /, which is a special character, so we have to escape it. And then it's got the tag name. The problem is that when I write it like this, you'll see that it is matching these two, which are valid, but it's matching this first one, which is invalid because the ending tag name has to match the closing or the opening tag name. That's not valid if it doesn't match. What we really want to say is whatever this value, you can't see it if I highlight it, this value here, this first 1 or more word characters has to be the exact same value here. This is where I'm going to use my capture group. So I'm going to capture whatever this match is. And then here, I just say / that capture group. Oh, look at that. So I'm saying find out what this value is and make sure that the ending tag is / followed by the exact same value. So that gets these two guys in the middle. If you wanted to get the paragraph with the new line in it, there's a couple of different ways that you can do it. The easiest way, it's kind of hard to get there's a whole bunch of characters that could be the new line. It's frustrating and tedious. So what I usually do is I cheat a little bit and I just say it'll match any number of word characters and white space characters. There we go. So it's not perfect, but it's good enough for now. So I'm using the character set. So a set of characters, word character or space, which again is tab, new line, space, whatever, and it's any number of. So there could be none of these, right? There could be many of these or none of these. So it matches all of my HTML tags, except for the invalid one, which is good. Try this exercise. Go ahead and pause the video and try this one. So create a regular expression that matches a product code that matches the pattern, 2 letters, a dash, 2 letters, a dash, and then 4 digits. And the 2 letters don't have to match. So we're not using the capture group values. It could, they could match like this one, but they don't have to match. So these 3 examples do match, and these examples down here do not match. Notice that, again, we're going to have to use multi-line mode to test it out with anchors because this one has an extra character, this one has an extra character. So go ahead, pause the video, give that a try, and then when you're done, resume the video and I'll show you the solution. Okay, so hopefully you had a chance to give that exercise a try. So here we go. So I've got my anchors, my multi-line, everything is in there. So what I want to do is I want to match, I used uppercase letters. I can't remember if it said uppercase or not, but I'm doing uppercase letters. So I want exactly, whoops, that, 2 uppercase letters, 2 of those, followed by a dash. I'm outside of a character class, so I don't have to escape the dash right now. It's fine. So I want to do that, and then you're thinking, oh yeah, and then I want 2 more letters, followed by a dash, followed by 4 digits. Oh, I'm going to use \D for digits. Oh, my caps lock is on. And it was how many? 4. Exactly 4. Like that. But we have some redundant stuff in here. This is where I can use a capture group. So 2 letters followed by a dash. 2 letters followed by a dash. So I don't need the second one. What I'll do is use a capture group. And I'm not capturing the value. So I'm going to add the little, whoops. I always think of it as like an Elvis smiley face with no mouth. I don't know if you guys think that too. But anyway. So I want that to occur twice. So I want to have 2 letters followed by a dash 2 times. So this is going to occur twice, followed by 4 digits. And so you'll see it actually matches my 3 valid ones, but it's not matching my 3 invalid ones. There we go. So you've learned quite a bit about regular expressions, but there's still a few more advanced things that you might want to learn on your own, such as lookarounds, conditionals, and recursion. But for now, what we've done is enough to start using regular expressions in your Java programs, or even in your JavaScript or PHP or probably Python. I haven't done regex in Python actually, but I'm sure you can because you can use it pretty much everywhere. So you've got enough to use in your code. Now in the next couple of videos, I'm going to show you how to do it with Java. So if you're not interested, well, thanks so much for watching. I hope you got a chance to learn regex, but if you're one of my Java students, then you'll definitely want to check out the next 2 videos. So until then, I'll see you there. Thanks for watching.